Sir Isaac Newton once said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." As gifted educators, if today we are seeing further, it is because we are standing on the shoulders of giants in our field, one such as Dr. Mary Frasier. Mary was born in the segregated South of Orangeburg, South Carolina in 1938. A bright student who skipped 2 grades, she entered South Carolina State after the 11th grade thanks to the Ford Foundation. Graduating at just 19 with a degree in music education, she began to teach school and complete her master's degree. Again, thanks to the Ford Foundation, she earned a doctoral degree from the University of Connecticut, where Dr. Joseph Renzulli directed her work. She would cite his mentorship as important in her life from that point on. It was during this time that she began to realize her life's work. My mission in life was seeking ways to discover and help develop the talents of children from disadvantaged backgrounds. I didn't think of myself as disadvantaged, so disadvantaged seemed to me to be an insult. So maybe we really are talking about people who come from diverse cultural backgrounds. Over the years, a couple of things impacted my thinking. I found I couldn't maintain a focus on African American children because other children were also being missed in that whole identification procedure. Some from Hispanic backgrounds, some from Native American backgrounds. Some were just simply from poor backgrounds. Atypical gifted children were simply those who didn't fit the mold, often underachievers, creatively gifted, and children with physical disabilities. And the same things were keeping all of them from being recognized for their gifts and talents. Dr. Frasier was a professor of educational psychology for 30 years at the University of Georgia. Her first department chair was Dr. E. Paul Torrance, another giant in the field who would deeply influence her. Dr. Frasier founded and directed a center at the University of Georgia entitled the Torrance Center of Creative Studies. Because of her research, she believed that the identification of gifted students was too heavily influenced by the overuse of intelligence tests as the only identifier of giftedness. She said, "We've locked in on tests as the way to determine giftedness so early in the lives of children that we forgot to listen to them." My research led me to focus on the kinds of behaviors that people exhibit if they're gifted. We have to recognize what the attributes are that symbolize giftedness and search for how those attributes look in different contexts. Making everybody go through the same hole in the needle isn't paying homage to the very thing we say about giftedness, that it manifests itself in a variety of different ways. It is our challenge and mandate to recognize what those different ways are. So my challenge continues to be discovering ways to better recognize what talent looks like when it is in its very young and rough stages and appears in different contexts. To improve the testing process, Dr. Frasier developed the Frasier Assessment Profile, or the FTAP, which enabled educators to consider many tests and forms of evidence in the evaluation of students. Many states currently use this methodology. FTAP is very thorough but time-consuming, so the traits, attributes, and behavior sheets, or tabs, were developed to encourage teachers to consider factors in addition to intelligence. These forms are standard practice for gifted specialists today. In her long and storied career, she served in many prestigious roles, advancing the future for gifted children of all backgrounds. She was awarded many times for her contributions to gifted education. These awards include the NAGC Distinguished Service Award, the Ann F. Isaacs Founders Memorial Award, and the Adderhold Distinguished Professor of the University of Georgia Award. Dr. Frasier's groundbreaking research ended in February 2005 when she passed away due to cancer. She was preceded in death by her husband Richard, also an educator, and survived by her daughters Deirdre and Muriel. Dr. Frasier was a powerful, influential voice leading the efforts to increase identification of gifted students from underrepresented populations. She was far more than just a vocal advocate. She developed methodologies that are still widely used today.
Created using Powtoon.